In the Gregorian calendar, New Year's Eve, the last day of the year, is on December 31st, which is the seventh day of the Christmas season. In many countries, New Year's Eve is celebrated at evening social gatherings, where many people dance, eat, drink alcoholic beverages, and watch or light fireworks to mark the new year. Some Christians attend a watch night service. The celebrations generally go on past midnight into New Year's Day, January 1st. Samoa, Tonga, and Kiritimati, part of Kiribati, are the first places to welcome the new year, while American Samoa and Baker Island in the United States of America are among the last. North America. Canada. New Year traditions and celebrations in Canada vary regionally. New Year's Eve is generally a social holiday. In many cities, such as Toronto, Ottawa, and Niagara Falls in Ontario, Edmonton and Calgary in Alberta, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Montreal, Quebec, there are large celebrations which may feature concerts, late-night partying, sporting events, and fireworks, with free public transit service during peak party times in most major cities. In some areas, such as in rural Quebec, people ice fish in the old days. Since 2000, the highlight of New Year's Eve celebrations is in Montreal's Old Port, which comes alive with concerts that take place and fireworks at midnight. From 1956 to 1976, Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians serenaded Canada on the CBC, via a feed from CBS, from the ballroom of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel on Park Avenue in New York City. After Lombardo's death in 1977, the Royal Canadians continued on CBC and CBS until 1978. In 1992, the sketch comedy troupe Royal Canadian Air Farce began airing its annual Year of the Farce special on CBC television, which features sketches lampooning the major events and news stories of the year. While the original 1992 edition was a one-off special, Year of the Farce episodes continued as a regular feature of the Air Farce television series, which ran from 1993 to 2008, airing its series finale on December 31, 2008. Following the finale of the television series, the original cast continued to participate in New Year's Eve specials in the years following. Similarly, the CBC's French-language network ICI Radio Canada Tele airs its own yearly New Year's Eve comedy special, Bye Bye. Unlike Year of the Farce, Bye Bye has been presented by various comedians. Originally running from 1968 to 1998, it was revived in 2006 by the Québécois troupe Rock et Belles Oreilles. Its 2008 edition, hosted and co-produced by Québécois television personality Véronique Cloutier, became infamous for several sketches that many viewers perceived as offensive, including sketches making fun of English Canadians and then American President-elect Barack Obama. Mexico. Mexicans celebrate New Year's Eve by eating a grape with each of the 12 chimes of a clock's bell during the midnight countdown, while making a wish with each one. Mexican families decorate homes and parties in colors that represent wishes for the upcoming year. Red encourages an overall improvement of lifestyle and love, yellow encourages blessings of improved employment conditions, green for improved financial circumstances, and white for improved health. Mexican sweet bread is baked with a coin or charm hidden in the dough. When the bread is served, the recipient of the slice with the coin or charm is said to be blessed with good luck in the new year. Another tradition is to make a list of all the bad or unhappy events over the past 12 months. Before midnight, this list is thrown into a fire, symbolizing the removal of negative energy from the new year. At the same time, they are expressed for all the good things during the year that is ending so that they will continue in the new year. Mexicans celebrate with a late-night dinner with their families, the traditional meal being turkey or pork loin. Afterwards, many people attend parties outside the home, for example, in nightclubs. In Mexico City there is a street festival on New Year's Eve centered on the Zocalo, the city's main square. Celebrations include firecrackers, fireworks, and sparklers and shouts of Feliz Año Nuevo. Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, New Year's Eve is celebrated with friends and family. The Puerto Rico Convention Center in San Juan is the main attraction for Puerto Ricans during the celebration. It has Latin music and fireworks at midnight along with the signature song Auld Lang Syne in Spanish. United States. The ball drop in New York City's Times Square attracts an average of 90,000 spectators yearly. In the United States, New Year's Eve is celebrated with formal parties, family-oriented activities, and other large public events. The most prominent celebration in the country is the ball drop held in New York City's Times Square. Inspired by the time balls that were formerly used as a time signal, at 11:59 p.m. ET, an 11,875-pound, 12-foot diameter Waterford crystal ball located on the roof of one Times Square is lowered down a pole that is 70 feet high, reaching the roof of the building 60 seconds later to signal the start of the new year. The event has been held since 1907, and has seen an average attendance of 90,000 yearly. The popularity of the spectacle has inspired similar events outside of New York City, which often use objects that represent a region's culture, geography, or history, such as Atlanta's Peach Drop, representing Georgia's identity as the Peach State, and Brasstown, North Carolina's controversial lowering of a live opossum in a glass enclosure. Radio and television broadcasts of festivities from New York City helped to ingrain them in American pop culture, beginning on the radio in 1928, and on CBS television from 1956 to 1976 with ball drop coverage. Guy Lombardo and his band, the Royal Canadians, presented an annual New Year's Eve broadcast from the ballroom of New York's Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The specials were best known for the Royal Canadians' signature performance of Auld Lang Syne at midnight, which made the standard synonymous with the holiday. Following Lombardo's death in 1977, the competing program New Year's Rockin' Eve succeeded the Royal Canadians as the dominant New Year's Eve special on U.S. television. Its creator and host, Dick Clark, intended the program to be a modern and youthful alternative to Lombardo's big band music. Including ABC's special coverage of the year 2000, Clark would host New Year's Eve coverage on ABC for 33 straight years. After suffering a stroke in December 2004, Clark retired as full-time host of the special for the 2006 edition, and was succeeded by Ryan Seacrest. Clark continued to make limited appearances on the special until his death in 2012. Other notable celebrations include those on the Las Vegas Strip, where streets are closed to vehicle traffic on the evening of New Year's Eve, and a fireworks show is held at midnight which spans across multiple buildings on the Strip. Los Angeles, a city long without a major public New Year celebration, held an inaugural gathering in downtown's newly completed Grand Park to celebrate the beginning of 2014. The event included food trucks, art installations, and culminating with a projection mapping show on the site of Los Angeles City Hall near midnight. The inaugural event drew over 25,000 spectators and participants. For 2016, Chicago introduced an event known as Chi-Town Rising. Alongside the festivities in Times Square, New York's Central Park hosts a midnight run event organized by the New York Road Runners, which culminates in a fireworks show and a race around the park that begins at midnight. Major theme parks may also hold New Year's celebrations. Disney theme parks, such as Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and Disneyland in Anaheim, California, are traditionally the busiest during the days up to and including New Year's Eve. Religious observances. In the Roman Catholic Church, January 1st is a solemnity honoring the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of Jesus. It is a holy day of obligation in most countries, thus the Church requires the attendance of all Catholics in such countries for Mass that day. However, a vigil Mass may be held on the evening before a holy day, thus it has become customary to celebrate Mass on the evening of New Year's Eve. Many Christian congregations have New Year's Eve watch night services. Some, especially Lutherans and Methodists and those in the African American community, have a tradition known as watch night, in which the faithful congregate in services continuing past midnight, giving thanks for the blessings of the outgoing year and praying for divine favor during the upcoming year. In the English-speaking world, watch night can be traced back to John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, who learned the custom from the Moravian Brethren who came to England in the 1730s. Moravian congregations still observe the watch night service on New Year's Eve. Watch night took on special significance to African Americans on New Year's Eve 1862, as slaves anticipated the arrival of January 1, 1863, when Lincoln had announced he would sign the Emancipation Proclamation. Europe. Albania. Preparations for New Year's Eve in Albania start long before December 31. It starts with the Christmas tree, which in Albania is known as New Year's tree or New Year's pine. On this day, parents, children, and relatives are gathered together to spend some remarkable moments all together. Having an abundant dinner with different kinds of delicious dishes is also a tradition. Part of the tradition is also watching a lot of comedy shows on that night, as the new year should find people smiling and full of joy. The most amazing moment of the night is the last minute of the old year and the minute to come of the new year. At midnight everyone toasts and greets each other, and a lot of fireworks brighten up the sky of the city. They wish each other a prosperous new year, full of happiness, joy, good health, and lots of fortune. It is a tradition that at midnight people call each other on the phone to greet one another or send SMS to all their friends. December 31 is the busiest day of an Albanian. Austria. In Austria, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with friends and family. At exactly midnight, all radio and television programs operated by ORF broadcast the sound of the Pomeran, the bell of St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna, followed by the Donau Walzer by Johann Strauss II. Many people dance to this at parties or in the street. Large crowds gather in the streets of Vienna, where the municipal government organizes a series of stages where bands and orchestras play. Fireworks are set off by both municipal governments and individuals. Belgium. In Belgium, New Year's Eve or Ujar is celebrated with family parties, called réveillons in the French-speaking areas. On television, a stand-up comedian reviews the past year, after which a musical or variety show signals midnight, when everyone kisses, exchanges good luck greetings, and toasts the new year and absent relatives and friends with champagne. Many people light fireworks or go into the street to watch them. Most cities have their own fireworks display, the most famous is at Mont des Arts in Brussels. Cities, cafes and restaurants are crowded. Free bus services and special New Year's Eve taxis bring everyone home afterwards. On January 1, children read their New Year's letter and give holiday greeting cards of decorated paper featuring golden cherubs and angels, colored roses, and ribbon-tied garlands to parents and godparents, on decorated paper. Belgian farmers also wish their animals a happy new year. Bosnia and Herzegovina. New Year is widely celebrated in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Streets are decorated for New Year's Eve and there is a fireworks show and concerts in all the larger cities. Restaurants, clubs, cafes, and hotels are usually full of guests and they organize New Year's Eve parties. In Sarajevo, people gather in the Square of Children of Sarajevo where a local rock band entertains them. Several trumpet and rock groups play until the early morning hours. At midnight there is a big fireworks show. Czech Republic and Slovakia. New Year's Eve celebrations and traditions in Czech Republic and Slovakia are very similar. New Year's Eve is the noisiest day of the year. People generally gather with friends at parties, in pubs, clubs, in the streets, or city squares to eat, drink, and celebrate the new year. Fireworks are a popular tradition. In large cities such as Bratislava or Prague, the fireworks start before noon and steadily increase until midnight. In the first minutes after midnight, people toast with champagne, wish each other a happy new year, fortune, and health, and go outside for the fireworks. In both countries, all major TV stations air entertainment shows before and after the midnight countdown, which is followed by the national anthem of each country. The presidents of the republics gave their New Year speech in the morning. The new Czech president Milo Zeman renewed the tradition of Christmas speeches. In recent years, however, the Czechoslovak national anthem is played at midnight, in honor of the shared history of both nations. Denmark. People in Denmark may go to parties or entertain guests at home. There is a special evening meal that concludes with kransekage, a special dessert, along with champagne. Other traditional dishes are boiled cod, stewed kale, and cured saddle of pork. However, expensive cuts of beef as well as sushi have become increasingly popular. Two significant traditional events are broadcast on television and radio on December 31st, the monarch's New Year message from Amalienborg Palace at 6 p.m. and the town hall clock in Copenhagen striking midnight. Thousands of people gather together in Radhuspladsen and cheer. The Royal Guard parade in their red gala uniforms. The climax of the celebration is fireworks launched as the town hall tower bells chime on the stroke of midnight. Estonia. To celebrate New Year's Eve in Estonia, people decorate villages, visit friends, and prepare lavish meals. Some believe that people should eat 7, 9, or 12 times on New Year's Eve. These are lucky numbers in Estonia. It is believed that for each meal consumed, the person gains the strength of that many men the following year. Meals should not be completely finished. Some food should be left for ancestors and spirits who visit the house on New Year's Eve. Traditional New Year food includes pork with sauerkraut or Estonian sauerkraut, baked potatoes, and sweets with hog's head, and white and blood sausage. Vegetarians can eat potato salad with navy beet and pate. Gingerbread and marzipan are very popular for dessert. Traditional New Year drinks include beer and mead, but mulled wine and champagne have become modern favorites. Finland. In Finland, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with family or friends. Late supper is served, often featuring wieners, Janssens frestels, and potato salad. Some municipalities organize fireworks at midnight. Consumer fireworks are also very popular. A Finnish tradition is molybdemancy, to tell the fortunes of the new year by melting tin in a tiny pan on the stove and throwing it quickly in a bucket of cold water. The resulting blob of metal is analyzed, for example by interpreting shadows it casts by candlelight. These predictions are however never taken seriously. The Finnish broadcasting company broadcasts the reception of the New Year at Helsinki Senate Square. Countdown to New Year is with the Helsinki Cathedral clock. In the afternoon program, the German comedy sketch Dinner for One is shown every year. On the radio, just before midnight, the poem Hymni Lava Apollo by Aino Leino is read. France. In France, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with a feast, Le Réveillon de la Saint Sylvester. This feast customarily includes special dishes including foie gras, seafood such as oysters, and champagne. The celebration can be a simple, intimate dinner with friends and family or, une soirée dansante, a much fancier ball. On New Year's Day friends and family exchange New Year's resolutions, kisses, and wishes. Some people eat ice cream. The holiday period ends on January 6 with the celebration of Epiphany. A traditional type of flat pastry cake, la galette des rois, made of 2 sheets of puff pastry, filled with frangipane is eaten. The cake contains a fève, a small china doll. Whomever finds it becomes king or queen and gets to wear a gold paper crown and choose his or her partner. This tradition can last up to 2 weeks. Germany. In Germany, parties are common on New Year's Eve. Fireworks are very popular, both with individuals and at large municipal displays. December 31st and the 3 days leading up to it are the only 4 days of the year on which fireworks may be sold in Germany. Every year Berlin hosts one of the largest New Year's Eve celebrations in all of Europe, attended by over 1 million people. The focal point is the Brandenburg Gate, where midnight fireworks are centered. Germans toast the New Year with a glass of sekt or champagne. Molybdemancy is another German New Year's Eve tradition, which involves telling fortunes by the shapes made by molten lead dropped into cold water. Other auspicious actions are to touch a chimney sweep or rub some ash on your forehead for good luck and health. Jam-filled donuts with and without liquor fillings are eaten. Finally, a tiny marzipan pig is consumed for more good luck. In some northern regions of Germany the making of Speckdicken is another tradition. People go door to door visiting their neighbors and partaking in this dish. It looks similar to a pancake, but the recipe calls for either dark molasses or dark syrup, with summer sausage and bacon in the center. Another notable tradition is the British comedy sketch Dinner for One, which has traditionally been broadcast on German television on New Year's Eve since 1972. The version traditionally broadcast on German television was originally recorded in 1963, and was occasionally used as filler programming by NDR due to popular demand. In 1972, Dinner for One received its traditional New Year's Eve scheduling. The sketch, as well as its catchphrase "the same procedure as every year," are well known in German pop culture. Dinner for One is also broadcast on or around New Year's Eve in other European countries, although it is, ironically, relatively unknown in the United Kingdom. Greece. New Year's Eve in Greece has many traditions. During the day, children sing the New Year's carols to be given money or treats. Then, it is time to have family lunch or dinner. In the evening, people cook a pie named King's Pie, which is a cake flavored with almonds. Following tradition, they put a coin wrapped in aluminium foil inside the pie. During the family dinner, the hostess puts some of her jewelry in a plate and serves it in the side of the table, as a symbol of the coming year's prosperity. After the dinner is over, the dishes are not washed until the next day. The reason for that is that Saint Vasilis is awaited during the New Year's Eve, and it is considered common courtesy to leave some food for the traveler who visits the house to bring the presents during the night. When midnight arrives, the families count down and then they turn off all the lights and reopen their eyes to enter the year with a new light. After the fireworks show, they cut the vasilopita and serve it. The person that gets the wrapped coin is the lucky person of the day, and he is also blessed for the rest of the year. Gifts exchanges may follow. Hungary. New Year's Eve in Hungary is celebrated with home parties and street parties, including a gathering in downtown Budapest. Fireworks and firecrackers are popular. Champagne, wine, and traditional Hungarian New Year dishes Frankfurter sausages with horseradish, lentil soup, fish, and roast pig are consumed. The national anthem is commonly sung at midnight. In Budapest, the time wheel runs out on New Year's Eve, and is mechanically rotated so that the sand runs through it for another year. In past centuries, some Hungarians believed that animals were able to speak on New Year's Eve, and that onion skins sprinkled with salt could indicate a rainy month. Hungarian Christian communities focus on celebrating Mass on both New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Iceland. New Year fireworks over Reykjavik, Iceland. Fireworks are very popular in Iceland, particularly on New Year's Eve. Iceland's biggest New Year's Eve events are usually in and around the capital, Reykjavik. Ramtaskopi is an annual Icelandic television comedy special, which is an important part of the new year for most. It focuses satirically on the past year, and shows little mercy for its victims, especially politicians, artists, prominent business people and activists. Ireland. New Year's Eve celebrations in major cities are modest, with most people favoring small parties in the home for family and friends. Italy. In Italy, New Year's Eve is celebrated by the observation of traditional rituals, such as wearing red underwear. An ancient tradition in southern regions was disposing of old or unused items by dropping them from the window. Dinner is traditionally eaten with relatives and friends. It often includes zamponi or cocchino, and lentils. At 8:30 p.m., the president reads a television message of greetings to Italians. At midnight, fireworks are displayed all across the country. Rarely followed today is the tradition that consists in eating lentil stew when bell tolls midnight, 1 spoonful per bell. This is supposed to bring good fortune. The round lentils represent coins. Macedonia. New Year's Eve is celebrated across Macedonia. New Year's Day is celebrated by day-long fireworks shows. The day is celebrated together with family or friends at home or in restaurants, clubs, cafes and hotels. During the daytime celebration, children get gifts. Evening celebrations include food, music, and dancing to both traditional Macedonian folk music and modern music. New Year's Eve is celebrated on December 31st and also on January 14th according to the Macedonian Orthodox calendar. Malta. Malta organized its first New Year's street party in 2009 in Floriana. The event was not highly advertised and proved controversial, due to the closing of an arterial street for the day. In 2010 there were the first national celebrations in St. George's Square, Valletta. Although professional fireworks are very popular in Malta, they are almost totally absent on New Year's Eve. Montenegro. In Montenegro, New Year's Eve celebrations are held in all large cities, usually accompanied by fireworks. It is usually celebrated with family or friends, at home or outside. Restaurants, clubs, cafes and hotels organize celebrations with food and music. Netherlands. New Year's Eve in the Netherlands is usually celebrated as a cozy evening with family or friends. Traditional snack foods are oliebollen and appel beignet. On television, the main feature is the Oudejaarsconference, a performance by one of the major Dutch cabaretiers. Historically, in Reformed Protestant families, Psalm 90 is read, although this tradition is now fading away. At midnight, glühwein or champagne is drunk. Many people light their own fireworks. Towns do not organize a central fireworks display, except for Rotterdam, where the national fireworks display can be seen near the Erasmus Bridge. Norway. This section does not cite any sources. Please help improve this section by adding citations to reliable sources. Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. In Norway, New Year's Eve is the second biggest celebration of the year, after Christmas Eve. While Christmas Eve is a family celebration, New Year's Eve is an opportunity to celebrate with friends. Traditionally, there is first a feast, commonly consisting of stuffed, roast turkey with potatoes, sprouts, gravy and Waldorf salad. The accompanying beverage is traditionally beer. Dessert will often be vanilla pudding or rice cream, and there will be cakes and coffee later in the evening, commonly accompanied by a glass of cognac. Then, at close to 12 a.m. on New Year's Day, people will go outside to send up fireworks. Fireworks are only permitted to be sold to the general public on the days leading up to New Year's Eve, and only to be launched that night. Due to the general use of fireworks, more fires occur on New Year's Eve than on any other day of the year in Norway. Accordingly, most Norwegian cities, and many towns, host a large, public fireworks display in order to discourage private use of fireworks in built-up areas. People will then congregate in a central square or similar to watch and celebrate. Poland. In Poland, New Year's Eve celebrations include both indoor and outdoor festivities. A large open-air concert is held in the main square in Krakow. 150,000 to 200,000 revelers celebrate the New Year with live music and a fireworks display over St. Mary's Basilica. Similar festivities are held in other cities around Poland. For those who do not wish to spend the New Year in the city, the mountains are a popular destination. Zakopane, located in the Carpathian Mountains, is the most popular Polish mountain resort in winter. Also, New Year's Eve celebrations are in Katowice, near the Spitic Arena. Portugal. In Portugal, the New Year celebration is taken very seriously. The tradition is to drink champagne and eat 12 raisins, one for each month of the year, making a wish for each. Another Portuguese tradition is a special cake called bolo rei. Bolo rei is a round cake with a large hole in the center, resembling a crown covered with crystallized and dried fruit. It is baked from a soft, white dough, with raisins, various nuts and crystallized fruit. Inside is hidden the characteristic fava. Tradition dictates that whoever finds the fava has to pay for the bolo rei next year. Initially, a small prize was also included within the cake. However, the inclusion of the prize was forbidden by the European Union for safety reasons. The Portuguese brought the recipe of the gâteau de Rois from France in the second half of the 19th century. To this day, this recipe is a very well kept secret. In Lisbon, the New Year is celebrated with a grand concert. The New Year's concert is held at the CCB on the evening of January 1st, featuring the prestigious Lisbon Metropolitan Orchestra. Romania. Romexpo indoors during Vanghelian New Year's Eve party. Traditional celebrations of New Year's Eve are the norm in Romania. Romanians follow centuries-old customs, rituals, and conventions. Children sing Plucșorul and Sorcova, traditional carols that wish goodwill, happiness, and success. Parties are common in the evening. Since the Romanian Revolution of 1989, Romanians have gathered in the University Square in Bucharest. Other significant parties occur in Piața Constituției. New Year's Eve is also marked by a national all-night telecast on Romanian television, which also celebrates its anniversary on this holiday, having opened its doors in the New Year's Eve of 1956. Russia. Main article, Novy God. Most Russians celebrate New Year's Eve with their families and close friends. The origin of this holiday in Russia derives from Christmas. Christmas was also a major holiday in Russia until it was banned, with all other religious holidays, by the Communist Party. To compensate for the absence of Christmas, New Year's was celebrated as much as Christmas was, but without the religious aspect of the holiday, and a lot of a Christmas attributes was stolen, such as Christmas tree, which became a New Year tree. Even after the fall of the Soviet Union, New Year's is still celebrated in Russia and has become a Russian tradition. There is an old superstition that if the first visitor on January 1st is a man, the year will be good. People also try to start the new year without debts. File S Novum Godum 2012.ogv. The Kremlin clock chimes and the singing of the Russian national anthem bring in the new year. The celebration usually starts 1 or 2 hours before midnight. A common tradition is to say farewell to the old year by remembering the most important events of the last 12 months. At 5 minutes to midnight, most people watch the president's New Year speech on TV and watch popular films or New Year TV shows before and after midnight. There is a tradition to listen to the Kremlin clock bell ringing 12 times on the radio or on TV, which is followed by the national anthem. During these last 12 seconds of the year, people keep silence and make their secret wishes for the next year. After the clock strikes, they drink champagne and have rich dinner, watching TV concerts and having fun. Some people light fireworks outside and visit their friends and neighbors. As December 30th and 31 are working days, a lot of people also have parties at work, though December 31st is mostly spent at home or with friends. Grandfather Frost and his granddaughter Snow Maiden bring presents on New Year's Eve. On January 13th, some of people celebrates Old New Year, according to the Julian calendar. Serbia. New Year's Eve in Serbia is traditionally celebrated extensively. Indoors, families celebrate New Year's Eve with an abundance of food. Serbs decorate trees, Novogodinja Jelka, at New Year's Eve, rather than at Christmas Eve. Near, or after midnight, Santa Claus visits houses and leaves presents under the tree, to be unpacked then or, if the family is asleep, to be discovered in the morning. Serbian New Year's celebrations take place in Belgrade, and several other major cities such as Novi Sad and Niš. As of mid-December, cities are extensively decorated and lit. The decorations remain until way into January due to the influence of the Julian calendar. Throughout the region, especially amongst former Yugoslav republics, Belgrade is the most popular destination for major parties. On January 13th, a large part of the population celebrates Serbian New Year, according to the Julian calendar. Usually one concert is organized in front of either City Hall or the National Parliament in Belgrade, while fireworks are prepared by the Serbian Orthodox Church and fired from the Cathedral of St. Sava, where people also gather. Other cities also organize such celebrations. Slovenia. In Slovenia, New Year's Eve is known as a Saint Sylvester's Day. Streets are decorated for the whole December. In larger cities like Ljubljana, Maribor, Salj, or Koper there are concerts, culture program and countdown followed by fireworks. There is also special program on the national TV. Tradition is, that family comes together and have a dinner. At midnight, people toast with champagne, wish each other a happy new year, fortune, and health. People have already decorated the Christmas tree before Christmas and children are waiting for the third good man of December, Dedek Mraz. Spain. Madrid's Puerta del Sol on New Year's Eve, 2005. Spanish New Year's Eve celebrations usually begin with a family dinner, traditionally including shrimp or prawns, and lamb or capon. The actual countdown is primarily followed from the clock on top of the Casa de Correos building in Puerta del Sol Square in Madrid. It is traditional to eat 12 grapes, one on each chime of the clock. This tradition has its origins in 1909, when grape growers in Alicante thought of it as a way to cut down on the large production surplus they had had that year. Nowadays, the tradition is followed by almost every Spaniard, and the 12 grapes have become synonymous with the new year. After the clock has finished striking 12, people greet each other and toast with sparkling wine such as cava or champagne, or with cider. The song Un Año Más, by the Spanish group Mecano, is frequently played. Earlier in the evening at around 8 o'clock, there is a 10K run called San Silvestre Vallecana, which starts on Paseo de la Castellana, next to Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, and ends at the Vallecas Stadium. Professional runners come to Madrid for this 10K. After the family dinner and the grapes, many young people attend Catalans de Nochevieja parties at pubs, clubs, and similar places. Parties usually last until the next morning and range from small, personal celebrations at local bars to huge parties with guests numbering the thousands at hotel convention rooms. Early the next morning, party attendees usually gather to have the traditional winter breakfast of hot chocolate and fried pastry. Sweden. Gothenburg fireworks on New Year's Eve, 2008. In Sweden, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with families or with friends. A few hours before and after midnight, people usually party and eat a special dinner, often 3 courses. New Year's Eve is celebrated with large fireworks displays throughout the country, especially in the cities. People over the age of 18 are allowed to buy fireworks, which are sold by local stores or by private persons. While watching or lighting fireworks at midnight, people usually drink champagne. Switzerland. In Switzerland, New Year's Eve is typically celebrated at a residence with friends. There are no particular main dishes associated with the event, although sweets and desserts are usual. Each commune has its own government-arranged countdown in a public space, accompanied with formal fireworks shows in smaller cities. Turkey. New Year's Eve decorations in Kadki, Istanbul. New Year's Eve decorations in Nianta, Istanbul. Numerous decorations and customs traditionally associated with Christmas and Bayrams are part of secular New Year's Eve celebrations in Turkey. Homes and streets are lit in glittering lights. Small gifts are exchanged, and large family dinners are organized with family and friends, featuring a special turkey dish stuffed with azanti currant, pine nuts, pimiento, and dill isi pilaf, dolma, hot borak, baklava, and various other Turkish dishes, accompanied with rak, Turkish wine, or boza, sherbet, salep, and Turkish tea or coffee. Even though Turkish people generally do not celebrate Christmas, decorating Christmas trees is a very popular tradition on New Year's Eve in Turkey, and the Turks associate Santa Claus with New Year's Eve. Television and radio channels are known to continuously broadcast a variety of special New Year's Eve programs, while municipalities all around the country organize fundraising events for the poor, in addition to celebratory public shows such as concerts and family-friendly events, as well as more traditional forms of entertainment such as the Karagöz and Hasavat Shadow Theatre, and even performances by the Murder the Janissary Band that was founded during the days of the Ottoman Empire. Public and private parties with large public attendances are organized in a number of cities and towns, particularly in the largest metropolitan areas such as Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, Adana, Bursa, and Antalya, with the biggest celebrations taking place in Istanbul's Taksim, Beyoğlu, Nianta, and Kadki districts and Ankara's Kızılay Square, which generally feature dancing, concerts, laser and light shows as well as the traditional countdown and fireworks display. Ukraine. In the countries that were formerly part of the Soviet Union, New Year's has the same cultural significance as Christmas has in the United States, but without the religious connotations. Ukrainian families traditionally install spruce trees at home, the equivalent of a Christmas tree. Families gather to eat a large feast and reflect on the past year. They have a large celebration, make toasts, and make wishes for a happy new year. Families give presents to their friends as well as informal acquaintances. As Ukrainians are traditionally a closely knit community, it is seen as a taboo to not give presents to those the family associates with. Children stay up until midnight, waiting for the New Year. During these celebrations, many Ukrainians tune to special New Year shows, which have become a long-standing tradition for the Ukrainian TV. And just before midnight, the President of Ukraine gives his New Year's message to the nation, and when the clock strikes 12, the national anthem Shchenev Merla Ukraina is played in all TV and radio stations, as well as in Independence Square in Kiev and other cities where holiday celebrations are held. New Year is often considered a pre-celebration for Greek Catholics and Eastern Orthodox living in Eastern Europe, primarily in Ukraine, since Christmas is celebrated on January 7. United Kingdom. England. See also, New Year's Eve in London. Thousands of people gather in central London for New Year celebrations, including fireworks at the London Eye at midnight. The most prominent New Year's celebration in England is that of central London, where the arrival of midnight is greeted with the chimes of Big Ben. In recent years, a major fireworks display has also been held, with fireworks launched from the nearby London Eye Ferris wheel. On New Year's Eve 2010, an estimated 250,000 people gathered to view an 8-minute fireworks display around and above the London Eye, which was, for the first time, set to a musical soundtrack. The celebrations in London continued into January 1, with the New Year's Day Parade, held annually since 1987. The 2011 parade involved more than 10,000 musicians, cheerleaders, and performers. Other major New Year events are held in the cities of Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, and Newcastle. Scotland. Main article, Hogmanay. See also, Edinburgh's Hogmanay. Hogmanay fireworks in Edinburgh. In Scotland, New Year's is celebrated with several different customs, such as first footing, which involves friends or family members going to each other's houses with a gift of whiskey and sometimes a lump of coal. Edinburgh, the Scottish capital, hosts one of the world's most famous New Year celebrations. The celebration is focused on a major street party along Princes Street. The cannon is fired at Edinburgh Castle at the stroke of midnight, followed by a large fireworks display. Edinburgh hosts a festival of 4 or 5 days, beginning on December 28, and lasting until New Year's Day or January 2, which is also a bank holiday in Scotland. Other cities across Scotland, such as Aberdeen, Glasgow, and Stirling, have large organised celebrations too, including fireworks at midnight. BBC Scotland broadcast the celebrations in Edinburgh to a Scottish audience, with the celebrations also screened across the world. STV covers both worldwide New Year celebrations, and details of events happening around Scotland. Wales. Further information, Callanig. Amari Lwydc 1910–1914. Traditionally carried from door to door during Callanig in Wales. The Welsh tradition of giving gifts and money on New Year's Day is an ancient custom that survives in modern-day Wales, though nowadays it is now customary to give bread and cheese. Thousands of people descend every year on Cardiff to enjoy live music, catering, ice skating, funfairs and fireworks. Many of the celebrations take place at Cardiff Castle and Cardiff City Hall. Every New Year's Eve, the NOS Gallon Road Race, a 5-kilometre running race, is held in Mountain Ash in the Cynon Valley, Rhondda Cynon Taf, South Wales. The race celebrates the life and achievements of Welsh runner Gutto Nyth Bran. Founded in 1958 by local runner Bernard Baldwin, it is run over the 5-kilometre route of Gutto's first competitive race. The main race starts with a church service at Llanwino, and then a wreath is laid on Gutto's grave in Llanwino graveyard. After lighting a torch, it is carried to the nearby town of Mountain Ash, where the main race takes place. The race consists of a double circuit of the town centre, starting in Henry Street and ending in Oxford Street, by the commemorative statue of Gutto. Traditionally, the race was timed to end at midnight, but in recent times it was rescheduled for the convenience of family entertainment, now concluding at around 9 p.m. This has resulted in a growth in size and scale, and the proceedings now start with an afternoon of street entertainment, and fun run races for children, concluding with the church service, elite runners race and presentations. Middle East and North Africa. Algeria. In Algeria, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with family and/or friends. In the largest cities, such as Algiers, Constantine, Annaba, Oran, Sétif, and Béjaïa, there are large celebrations which may feature concerts, late-night partying, firecrackers, fireworks at midnight and sparklers and shouts of Bonne Année. The Martyrs Memorial and the Grand Post Place in Algiers are the main attraction for the majority of Algerians during the celebration, while some others prefer spending this special night outside the country, generally in Tunis or Paris. At 8 p.m., the President's message of greetings to Algerians is read on TV. EPTV network airs a yearly New Year's Eve entertainment show, varying its name, hosts, and guests, which features sketches and musical performances. Popular films are also broadcast. At home or at restaurants, a special type of pastry cake, called la bûche is eaten, and black coffee or soda is drunk with it, few minutes before the New Year's countdown. On New Year's Day, people, especially children, write their New Year's letter on decorated paper, called carte de bonne année, to their parents and relatives, featuring their resolutions and wishes. Egypt. In Egypt, the New Year is celebrated with fireworks, firecrackers, smashing glass bottles or breaking things on the street also. Israel. New Year's Eve in Israel is celebrated by parties, social get-togethers, concerts, and dining out in major cities such as Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Immigrants from the former USSR celebrate Novi God, the Russian version of the holiday. Lebanon. In Lebanon, people celebrate New Year's Eve with a dinner attended by family and friends. The dinner features traditional dishes such as tabbouleh, hummus, kibbeh, and other Lebanese foods. These celebrations could also take place in restaurants and clubs. Game shows are also organized where people can try to win money. The countdown to New Year's is broadcast through the leading TV channel and the celebrations usually continue until sunrise. Fireworks are lit throughout the night. Morocco. Casablanca fireworks display. In Morocco, New Year's Eve is celebrated in the company of family and friends. People get together to eat cake, dance, and laugh. Traditionally, people celebrate it at home, but some of them prefer to go to nightclubs. At midnight, fireworks are displayed across Andiab, in the Corniche of Casablanca. Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, New Year's is solely celebrated in private gatherings. As the Islamic calendar is the official civic calendar, the Committee for the Promotion of Virtue and the Prevention of Vice, Saudi Arabia's religious police, has enforced a ban on public festivities of the Gregorian New Year. The organization can also fine shops for offering New Year's-related products, and confiscate them. However, the organization does not go after individual citizens holding private celebrations. South Sudan. In South Sudan, people attend church services at many churches in Juba. The service begins at 9 p.m. At the stroke of midnight, people sing the famous carol, Hark! The herald angels sing to mark the end and beginning of the year with a blessing. The service ends at 12:30 a.m. United Arab Emirates. In Dubai, United Arab Emirates, New Year's fireworks are set off from Jumeirah Beach and the world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa. The New Year fireworks display at Burj Khalifa is among the world's most expensive. New Year celebrations, including fireworks at the Burj Khalifa at midnight. Central and South America. Argentina. The burning of dolls is a local tradition in the city of La Plata. Traditional celebrations in Argentina include a family dinner of traditional dishes, including vitel asado, sándwiches de miga, pan unos. Like dessert, turrón, mantecol, and pan dulce. Just before midnight, people flock to the streets to enjoy fireworks and light firecrackers. The fireworks can be seen in any terrace. The first day of the New Year is celebrated at midnight with cider or champagne. People wish each other a Happy New Year, and sometimes share a toast with neighbors. Parties often continue until dawn. The celebration is during the summer, like in many South American countries, so it's normal to see many families in the New Year at tourist centers of the Argentine Atlantic coast. Brazil. The beach at Copacabana in Rio de Janeiro hosts millions of revelers. The New Year is one of Brazil's main holidays. It officially marks the beginning of the summer holidays, which last until Carnival. Brazilians traditionally have a copious meal with family or friends at home, in restaurants or private clubs, and consume alcoholic beverages. Champagne is traditionally drunk. Those spending New Year's Eve at the beach usually dress in white, to bring good luck into the new year. Fireworks and eating grapes or lentils are customs associated with the holiday. The beach at Copacabana in Rio de Janeiro is ranked among the top 10 New Year fireworks display. The combination of live concerts, a spectacular fireworks display and millions of revelers combine to make the Copacabana's New Year's party one of the best in the world. In addition, the celebrations are broadcast on Rede Globo during Show de Virada. The city of São Paulo hosts the St. Sylvester Marathon, which traverses streets between Paulista Avenue and the downtown area. In other regions, different events also take place. At Fortaleza, Ceará, there is a party in the Praia de Iracema area. The party attracts more than 1 million people. It features fireworks and live music shows. Chile. Over 1 million visitors crowd the streets and beaches of Valparaiso each New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is celebrated in Chile by the observation of traditional rituals, such as wearing yellow underwear and yellow clothing. It is said to restore vitality to your life. People who want to travel walk the streets with a suitcase in hand, others hold money in their hand or place coins at their door for good fortune in the new year. Celebrations include a family dinner with special dishes, usually lentils for good luck, and 12 grapes to symbolize wishes for each month of the coming year. Family celebrations usually last until midnight, then some continue partying with friends until dawn. In Chile's capital Santiago, thousands of people gather at the Entel Tower to watch the countdown to midnight and a fireworks display. There are several fireworks shows across the country. Over 1 million spectators attend the most popular, the Ano Nuevo en el Mar, in Valparaiso. Since 2000, the sale of fireworks to individuals has been illegal, meaning fireworks can now only be observed at major displays. Many people also travel to Easter Island, off Chile's coast, to welcome the new year. Colombia. In Colombia it is a traditional celebration. There are many traditions across the country. Included among these traditions are, a family dinner with special dishes, fireworks, popular music, wearing special or new clothes, eating empanadas, and different parties. With each stroke of the clock until midnight, the families eat grapes. Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, families usually gather around 8 p.m. for parties that last until 1 or 2 a.m. the next day. There are several traditions among Costa Rican families, including eating 12 grapes representing 12 wishes for the new year, and running across the street with luggage to bring new trips and adventures in the upcoming year. El Salvador. In El Salvador, New Year's Eve is spent with families. Family parties start around 5 p.m. and last until 1 o'clock to 3 a.m. the following day. Families eat dinner together and sing traditional New Year's Eve songs, such as Cinco para las Doce. After the dinner, individuals light fireworks and continue partying outside. A radio station broadcasts a countdown to midnight. When the clock strikes midnight, fireworks are lit across the country. People start exchanging hugs and wishes for the new year. Ecuador. A New Year's Eve tradition in Ecuador is for men to dress haphazardly in drag for New Year's Eve, representing the widow of the year that has passed. The widows then go to the streets and stop each car that passes on that particular street in order to parody some form of sexy dancing. Large crowds would gather around to watch and laugh at the entertainment, and the drivers are forced to give the widows some coins in order to obtain passage through the street. There are also traditional family events and meals and modern celebrations such as hosting parties and going to nightclubs. People usually eat grapes and drink champagne with close family members and friends. The main event takes place at midnight, where fireworks are lit along with thousands of life-size effigies called Ano Viejo. Most every local family creates the effigy from paper scraps, old clothes, or purchases it all together. They place just outside the front of their home. The effigy represents things you disliked from the previous year and are made to look like famous celebrities, politicians, public servants, cartoons, etc. They are burnt right at midnight to shed the old year and represent a new beginning. Some of the braver Ecuadorians jump through these burning effigies 12 times to represent a wish for every month. Guatemala. In Guatemala, banks close on New Year's Eve, and businesses close at noon. In the town of Antigua, people usually gather at the Santa Catalina Clock Arch to celebrate New Year's Eve. In Guatemala City, the celebrations are centered on Plaza Mayor. Firecrackers are lit starting at sundown, continuing without interruption into the night. Guatemalans wear new clothes for good fortune and eat a grape with each of the 12 chimes of the bell during the New Year countdown, while making a wish with each one. The celebrations include religious themes which may be either Mayan or Catholic. Catholic celebrations are similar to those at Christmas. Gifts are left under the tree on Christmas morning by the Christ child for the children, but parents and adults do not exchange gifts until New Year's Day. Suriname. During New Year's Eve in Suriname, the Surinamese population goes into cities' commercial districts to watch fireworks shows. This is a spectacle based on the famous red firecracker ribbons. The bigger stores invest in these firecrackers and display them in the streets. Every year the length of them is compared, and high praises are held for the company that has managed to import the largest ribbon. These celebrations start at 10 a.m. and finish the next day. The day is usually filled with laughter, dance, music, and drinking. When the night starts, the big street parties are already at full capacity. The most popular fiesta is the one that is held at Café Tivat in the main tourist district. The parties there stop between 10 and 11 p.m., after which the people go home to light their pagoras at midnight. After midnight, the parties continue and the streets fill again until daybreak. Trinidad. In Port of Spain, the tradition is to celebrate in one's yard with friends, family, and neighbors, and eat and drink till sunrise. At midnight the city becomes festive with fireworks in every direction. The celebration only starts at midnight. Music is heard from all the houses and bars, nightclubs, street parties, soca raves. The people are celebrating not only the New Year but the beginning of the carnival season as well. Venezuela. Radio specials give a countdown and announce the New Year. In Caracas, the bells of the Cathedral of Caracas ring 12 times. During these special programs, is a tradition to broadcast songs about the end of the year. It is a non-working holiday. Popular songs include Viejo Ano, by Gaita group Maracaibo 15, and Cinco Palos 12, which was versioned by several popular singers including Nestor Zavars, Nancy Ramos, and José Luis Rodríguez El Puma. The unofficial hymn for the first minutes of the new year is Ano Nuevo, Vida Nueva, by the band Billows Caracas Boys. Many people play the national anthem in their houses. Traditions include wearing yellow underwear, eating pan de jamon, and 12 grapes with sparkling wine. Special holiday programs are broadcast on Venezuelan television stations including Venevision. Oceania. Australia. See also, Sydney New Year's Eve. Sydney New Year's Eve 2008-09. Each major city in Australia holds New Year's Eve celebrations, usually accompanied by a fireworks display and other events. Gloucester Park, a racecourse in central Perth, is the largest and most recognised display in the Western Australian city. In Brisbane, events are held at South Bank. At night, 50,000 people gather at sites around the Brisbane River to watch a fireworks display. The largest celebration in Australia is held in its largest city, Sydney. Each year, the celebrations in Sydney are accompanied by a theme with 2 pyrotechnic shows, the 9 p.m. family fireworks and the midnight fireworks. Centering on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the fireworks are synchronized to a blend of popular music and a lighting display called the bridge effect, which displays various symbols and other images related to the current year's theme, located on the bridge itself. The midnight fireworks are regularly watched by approximately 1.52 million people at Sydney Harbour. As one of the first major New Year's celebrations globally each year, Sydney's midnight fireworks are often broadcast throughout the world during the day of December 31st. In Melbourne, the city follows suit with Sydney having a 9:30 family fireworks followed by the midnight fireworks. Celebrations are mostly centred on the Yarra River and Federation Square, as well as Docklands. Most of the firework shows in Melbourne are launched from boats along the river and from atop the city's various skyscrapers. Kiribati. Kiritimati, part of Kiribati, is one of the first locations in the world to welcome the new year. Other Kiribati islands follow at UTC+13 and UTC+12. New Zealand. Auckland fireworks as seen from Sky Tower. Gisborne, New Zealand 496.3 km west of the international date line is the first major city to see the beginning of the new year. In New Zealand, cities celebrate with large street parties and fireworks displays. Local councils usually organize parties and street carnivals and fireworks displays. In Auckland, the top of the Sky Tower, the tallest freestanding structure tower in the Southern Hemisphere, is the launch site for a fireworks show. The New Zealand national cricket team have begun playing a one-day international cricket game in Queenstown during the day of New Year's Eve. Samoa. Since changing the time zone from UTC-11 to UTC+13 in winter and UTC+14 in summer, Samoa is the first country to receive the new year as a whole, sharing it with some parts of Kiribati. Africa. Nigeria. HKN's Davido entertaining the crowd at the Lagos Countdown 2012 in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the New Year's Eve is often celebrated by going to church, others go to nightclubs, and parties organized by individuals, communities, or state government like the Lagos Countdown. The Lagos Countdown is an event in Nigeria, created to increase tourism and making Lagos a premium destination for business and leisure. The event kicks off in December and lasts till January 1st. It is attended by an average of 100,000 people. The event takes place at the Eco-Atlantic City, beside the bar beach, attracting thousands of domestic and foreign tourists who are entertained every evening by different artists. Ghana. In Ghana, many people celebrate New Year's Eve by going to church, others go to nightclubs, pubs, or take to the street to celebrate. At midnight, fireworks are displayed across various cities of Ghana, especially in Accra and Tema. Asia. Bangladesh. The New Year celebrations take place in all around the country, mostly in Dhaka, Chittagong, Sylhet, Rajshahi, Khulna, Barishal, Cox's Bazar, etc. The celebrations mostly take place at night. On this day, people go to the parties at club or hotels, beaches, at the crowdy roadsides and bridges where firecrackers are blasted out in the sky at night. The roadsides and bridges are also lighted up by colorful lights at night. People do a get-together as well as enjoy with their families. That day, Cox's Bazar becomes a popular tourist destination for both Bangladeshi and foreign tourists. Music, songs, and dances are organized in the auditoriums, hotels, beaches, and as well as in the grounds, which are shown live concert on TV, where many Bollywood celebrities along with many personalities participate in the dance, music, songs, and often drama to liven up the concert more. Sometimes often marriages and weddings take place in the clubs at night of December 31st so that the people can enjoy more. People also enjoy the New Year's Eve with their families, relatives, and friends in the ships and yachts, especially in the sea, while going to St. Martin, where DJs liven up their night through their music and songs. The Muslims during the year's last Jummah prayer of mosque permanently pray a munajat so that Allah may bless them and the coming year can be fruitful. Hindus organize a puja so that the coming year can be fruitful for them. The Christians go to the churches for a watch night service till midnight, praying for blessing in the coming new year, as it is also part of the Christmastide season observances. China. In China, although the celebrations of the Lunar New Year are not until a few weeks after the Gregorian New Year. Celebrations of the Gregorian New Year are held in some areas, particularly in major cities. For example, celebrations with fireworks and rock concerts have taken place in Beijing's Solana Blue Harbor Shopping Park, while cultural shows and other events are held at the city's Millennium Monument, Temple of Heaven, Great Wall of China, Olympic Green, and the Summer Palace. Since 2011, a light and sound show has been held at the Bund in Shanghai, a few minutes before midnight. Hong Kong. Main article: Hong Kong New Year Countdown Celebrations. Fireworks display in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, many gather in shopping districts like Central, Causeway Bay, and Tsim Sha Tsui. Beginning in 2008, a 60-second numerical countdown to New Year's, consisting of LED lights and pyrotechnic display effects, on the facade of two International Finance Center was launched, followed by a firework display, alongside an exhibition of the Symphony of Lights. For the arrival of 2013, the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center initiated the countdown, while the fireworks display and a Symphony of Lights show were extended to 8 minutes. Shopping malls are often major celebration venues. The Times Square Shopping Mall, for instance, holds their own celebration of the ball drop held at Times Square, New York City. There are also various district-wide celebrations. Central Asia. In Central Asia, New Year's Eve celebrations were inherited from Soviet traditions, thus they are similar to those of Russia. An example of such traditions would be the playing of the national anthem at midnight and the presidential address before it. India. Most celebrations take place in the major metropolitan cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, Ahmedabad. New Year is also celebrated in other cities and towns around the country like Agra, Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, Vadodara, etc. There are lots of shows, events, awards, and parties organized all over India. Big and small celebrities and personalities perform as well as enjoy in these parties. Many discos and pubs organize big singers, DJs, or local talent to liven up the night with their music and songs. Goa is the most visited destination during New Year's celebration both by Indian and foreign tourists. Major events like live concerts and dances by Bollywood stars are also organized and attended mostly by youngsters. More often people like to celebrate the New Year Eve with their family. Hotels and resorts are also decked up in anticipation of tourist arrival, and intense competition makes them entice the tourists with exciting New Year offers. Many people across the country also follow old traditions. The Hindu community organize pujas for a fruitful year ahead, and the Christian community often go to church for a watch night service till midnight praying for blessing in the coming new year. Indonesia. New Year's Eve celebration in Jakarta, Indonesia. Indonesians celebrate New Year's Eve with revelry in urban areas. Hotels, discos, and major restaurants in Indonesia offer special meals, entertainment and dancing. People celebrate with their families, siblings, and friends. Trumpets and fireworks are the most important elements of New Year's Eve for Indonesians. However, the New Year is generally not as big a celebration as Eid ul-Fitr. New Year's Eve celebrations in Jakarta often include a music show, New Year's countdown, and fireworks party. The events are often held at the Monument Nasional, waterfront resort of Ancol Dreamland, and the recreational area Taman Mini Indonesia Indah. Bali is another popular destination for New Year's Eve, with many locals and tourists gathering at the beach at Kuta. Japan. Main article: Misoka. Tokyo Tower on New Year's Eve, 2012. In Japan, New Year's Eve is used to prepare for and welcome Toshigami, the New Year's god. People clean their home and prepare kadomatsu or shiminawa to welcome the god before New Year's Eve. Buddhist temples ring their bells 108 times at midnight in the tradition Joya no Kane. The rings represent the 108 elements of Bon, mental states that lead people to take unwholesome actions. In most cities and urban areas across Japan, New Year's Eve celebrations are usually accompanied by concerts, countdowns, fireworks, and other events. In Tokyo, the two most crowded celebrations are held at the Shibuya Crossing in Shibuya and the Zohaji Temple in Minato. People gather around the Zohaji Temple to release helium balloons with New Year's wishes up in the sky and watch the lighting of Tokyo Tower and Tokyo Skytree with a year number displayed on the observatory at the stroke of midnight. Two notable music-oriented television specials air near New Year's Eve. Although it did air on December 31 from 1959 to 2006, the Japan Record Awards ceremony, recognizing outstanding achievements in the Japanese music industry, is held annually on December 30 and is broadcast by TBS. Since 1951, NHK has traditionally broadcast Kako Yuta Gassen on New Year's Eve, a music competition where two teams of popular musicians perform songs, with the winning team determined by a panel of judges and viewer votes. The special is traditionally one of the most watched television programs of the year in Japan. Korea. There are two New Years celebrated in both North Korea and South Korea, which are Lunar New Year and Solar New Year. The Solar New Year are always celebrated on the first day of January while Lunar New Year varies. Sometimes there are some traits that both North and South Korea celebrate, while some traits are celebrated differently or only on one side. In both Koreas, they call New Year's Day. They eat a special soup called which is a hot soup with thin, flat rice cakes and most of the times, eggs are inserted. The Koreans believe that one would get to earn one age if you eat the soup on New Year's Day. They say if one dares to not eat the soup on New Year's Day, then he or she will lose luck. Most cities and urban areas in both Koreas host New Year's Eve gatherings. In South Korea, the biggest celebration takes place at Myeongdong in Seoul, where the ringing of Bosingguk bell 33 times at midnight and fireworks display are held. In Pyongyang, North Korea, the chimes of the clock at the Grand People's Study House and fireworks display along Kim Il-sung Square, Juche Tower, and the surrounding areas signal the start of the new year. The celebration in Pyongyang, however, also marks the beginning of the North Korean calendar or the Juche year, which is based on April 15, 1912, Kim Il-sung's date of birth. Malaysia. Fireworks in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Ambang Tahun Baru, a celebration sponsored by the government, is held at Merdeka Square, the field opposite the Sultan Abdul Samad building in the Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur. The event is broadcast live on government as well as private TV stations. In addition, private organizations also hold New Year's countdown parties at major shopping malls and landmarks. One significant privately run celebration is the fireworks display at the Petronas Towers. Mongolia. Mongolians began celebrating the Gregorian New Year in the socialist period, with influence from the former Soviet Union. As a modern tradition, New Year's Eve as well as New Year's Day are public holidays, and are two of the biggest holidays of the year. They celebrate New Year's Eve with their family. It is common, just like in the former Soviet Union, that the national anthem of Mongolia is to be played at the midnight hour on television. Pakistan. New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with fireworks in big cities. Musical nights and concerts are also held. Many Pakistani youngsters enjoy the type of celebrations held the world over. The elite and educated classes participate in night-long activities in urban and cosmopolitan cities like Karachi, Lahore, and the capital of Islamabad. Families enjoy a traditional dish called biryani. Philippines. In the Philippines, New Year's Eve is a special non-working holiday. Filipinos usually celebrate New Year's Eve in the company of family or close friends. Traditionally, most households host or attend a midnight feast called the Media Noche. Typical dishes included holiday fare, pancit, and hamon. Lechon is usually prepared, as is barbecued food. Some refrain from serving chicken, as their scratching and pecking for food is unlucky, being an idiom for a hand-to-mouth existence. Many opt to wear new, bright, or colorful clothes with circular patterns, such as polka dots, or display sweets and 12 round fruits as the centerpiece, in the belief that circles attract money and fortune and that candies represent a sweeter year ahead. Several customs must only be done at midnight. Some throw about coins to increase wealth in the coming year, or jump to increase their height, while some follow the Spanish custom of eating 12 grapes, one for each month of the year. People also make loud noises by blowing on cardboard or plastic horns, called torito, banging on pots and pans, playing loud music, blowing car horns, or by igniting firecrackers, in the belief that the din scares away bad luck and evil spirits. Bamboo cannons are also fired on the night in some places. Urban areas usually host many New Year's Eve parties and countdown celebrations hosted by the private sector with the help of the local government. These parties, which include balls hosted by hotels, usually display their own fireworks and are often very well attended. Some popular locations for celebrations include the area along Manila Bay at Roxas Boulevard or Luneta Park in Manila, the intersection of Ayala and Makati Avenues in Makati City, Resorts World Manila and SM Mall of Asia in Pasay City, Quezon Memorial Circle in Diliman and Eastwood City in Libis, Quezon City, Bonifacio Global City in Taguig City, and the Philippine Arena at Ciudad Victoria in Baco and Santa Maria, Bulacan. Singapore. The New Year Countdown Party in Singapore. The biggest New Year's Eve celebration in Singapore takes place in the Marina Bay area. It is attended by 250,000 or more people. The party spans around the Bay Area starting from the Marina Bay Floating Stadium to the Esplanade Promenade, the Esplanade Bridge, Benjamin Shears Bridge, Merlion Park, and the Padang at City Hall facing the Marina Bay. The celebrations are also visible from nearby hotels such as the Fullerton Hotel, Marina Mandarin, the Carlton Millenia, Marina Bay Sands, offices located at Raffles Place, Marina Bay Financial Center, residential apartments at the Sale at Marina Bay, and from the Singapore Flyer. On the waterfront of Marina Bay, 20,000 inflatable wishing spheres carrying 500,000 wishes written by Singaporeans form a visual arts display filled with brilliant colors beamed from the spotlights erected along the Esplanade Promenade open area. Audiences are also entertained by a host of variety shows and concerts staged at the Marina Bay Floating Platform Stage, featuring local and overseas artists. The shows are viewable by all at the Bay and telecast live on various television channels in Republic of Singapore, as well as internationally all over Southeast Asia through Channel News Asia. At 1 minute to midnight, the concert MCs initiate the final countdown together with the audience. When midnight arrives, fireworks are launched from the waters at Marina Bay, lighting up the whole bay against the backdrop of the Singapore skyline. There are other countdown parties across Singapore. These include Vivo City and areas such as Ang Mokio, Bedok, Boon Lay, Bukit Panjang, Jurong East, Punggol, Sengkang, Serangoon Gardens, Tampines, Woodlands, Yishun, Taiwan. Fireworks in Taipei 101 during New Year's Eve. In Taiwan, the end of the year is celebrated with concerts held in cities including Dawan, Taichung, Taipei, and Kaohsiung. Recently, the nation has used technology to communicate among the cities via video, enabling the cities to count down together. The most crowded city is the capital, Taipei, where most people gather by Taipei 101 and the shopping centers in the Xinyi district. People gather around the streets of Taipei 101 as they count down. With each number they count, one of the layers of Taipei 101 lights up until midnight, when the fireworks shoot out from the top of each layer in different directions. Thailand. Aside from the traditional Thai New Year called Songkran, Thais also celebrate the arrival of the Gregorian New Year on January 1 with their families, relatives, and friends, which includes a family dinner and following different customs. It is a public holiday. In most cities and urban areas across Thailand, New Year's Eve celebrations are accompanied by countdowns, fireworks, concerts, and other major events, notably, the Central World Square at Central World and the area along Chao Phraya River in Bangkok, and the Pattaya Beach in Pattaya, while public places such as hotels, pubs, restaurants, and nightclubs also host New Year's Eve parties by offering food, entertainment, and music to the guests, and they usually stay open until the next morning. Songs. This section does not cite any sources. Please help improve this section by adding citations to reliable sources. Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. John Macy Wright and John Rogers c. 1841 illustration of Auld Lang Syne. In English-speaking countries, a few popular songs are associated with New Year's Eve, and it is common for them to be broadcast via radio on December 31st. Even some Christmas songs focus on the arrival of a new year during the Christmas and holiday season. Auld Lang Syne by Robert Burns. This is the song most closely associated with the holiday, especially the Guy Lombardo musical rendition. A version performed by Lee Michelle was featured in the 2011 film New Year's Eve. Happy New Year by ABBA. Imagine by John Lennon. It Was a Very Good Year by Frank Sinatra. It's Just Another New Year's Eve by Barry Manilow. Let's Start the New Year Right by Bing Crosby. New Year's Day by U2. Same Auld Lang Syne by Dan Fogelberg. Let's Spend This New Year's Eve at Home by Christy Byerly. Kiss Me at Midnight by NSYNC from their 1998 album The Winter Album. This Is the New Year by A Great Big World. During the Millennium celebrations, Prince's 1999 was re-released and enjoyed increased popularity due to the song's namesake year. Will Smith also released a song titled Will 2K, which also proved successful, owing to the lyrics' celebration of millennium parties. Robbie Williams enjoyed a similar success with his 1998 single Millennium, as did Pulp for their 1995 song Disco 2000. Spanish band Mecano's single Un Ano Mas is popular in Spanish-speaking countries. It describes the final minutes of New Year's Eve by people following the Spanish traditions. A version with lyrics in Italian was also released.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.